Assalamu alaikum. Welcome again, dear 11th graders. Today we are going to start a new unit, that is Unit 11. We are going to focus on language, which is presented in periods 3 and 4. The main objectives for today's class, we are going to study the use of present perfect in contrast with the use of the past simple. We are going to go through that in details. Secondly, we are going to practice using these tenses in both active and passive voice that we discussed in Unit 10. And finally, we are going to get introduced to a new type of passive constructions, that which is called the reporting passive. Let's start with the first objective, that is comparing the past simple versus the present perfect. First of all, we use, if we just a quick revision for the form, past simple, as we know, after the subject, we use verb to, regardless of the subject. It's also useful to remember regular and irregular verbs. With the present perfect, we use either has or have with the past participle form of the verb. Now, the uses, which we are going to focus more and more on, we use the past simple for finished actions in the past, actions that happened in and finished in a certain time in the past. On the other hand, we use the present perfect for unfinished time. The action started maybe in the past and is still continuous until now. Back to the example. We lived in Japan from 1995 to 1998. A time period that started and ended in the past. But in the second example here, concerning the present perfect, I've worked as a teacher since 2011. A time period that started in the past and continues until now. الفرق الأساسي بالأول إنه أنا بحكي في الباست سمبل عن فعل حدث وانتهى في الماضي ما له أي علاقة في الوقت الحاضر، زي المثال المحطوط عندي هون إنه في certain period of time in the past، فترة زمنية ماضية بدأ وانتهى الفعل. But with present perfect we are talking about an action that started and it is unfinished. بدأ وما زال مستمر بس أعطاني البداية. The second use, which we are going to focus more on here, that we are talking about an action in the past with definite time. I saw the Eiffel Tower in 2007. An action happened in a certain period of time in the past. It is defined, it is given actually. The same action is expressed in the sentence on the right here. I have seen the Eiffel Tower, but we are using the present perfect because the time is indefinite, it's not given. Maybe also it could be more than one action. It could be a series of actions finished in the past. He read the book, then he watched the movie. But look here, have you ever seen the movie? We are not excited or we are not interested at all about, we are not interested at all in the time or details. We are interested in the experience itself. الاستخدام الثاني اللي بلزمنا أكثر لحصتنا اليوم واللي مركزين عليه شوي بزيادة في الكتاب إنه أنا لما بستخدم الباست سمبل بيكون عندي حدث في الماضي المحدد، حدث وانتهى في الماضي، بيكون في عندي تفاصيل زي هيك عن الزمن مثلا، عشان هيك شو سمينا definite time or we might call it definite past. But if we are concerned about the action, the experience، إذا أنا معنية أكثر بالتجربة أو بالعمل نفسه بالفعل أكثر من الزمن، ما معي تفاصيل عن الزمن يمكن كمان، بستخدم the present perfect. هنا I have seen the Eiffel Tower. رؤية الإيفل تاور هي المهمة، ما عندي عنها أي تفاصيل. It's more likely to use present perfect. One more point here. Again, if we look at the sentence, he went to the cinema every weekend last year. إيش يتكرر في الماضي last year. محدد للزمن. بستخدم past simple. She has already watched this movie 3 times. أنا مش محدد عندي الزمن، أنا معنية إنه watched the movie 3 times، معنية بالresult. This is why we use the present perfect. Also, we are used to using these time phrases with the past simple. Yesterday, ago, last, in a certain year or time in the past. Already, which tells us and we are concerned about the result, just, before a while, yet, ever, never, for, since, and all these expressions are very common to be used with the present perfect tense. If we move now to the next slide, we are going to focus on the slide which is given in the book. Let's read the pairs of examples. In the first pair of examples, 1 and 2, Tim Northwood has reacted furiously to press comments about his team. He said yesterday that his critics didn't know what they were talking about. We can notice that in sentence 1, the tense which is used is present perfect. We are more concerned about the action. We don't have many details about the time or other things. We are concerned about the reaction here. His furious reaction to the press. But look at number 2. He said yesterday, we are given the time, that his critics didn't know what they were talking about. Also more details about his furious reaction. Another pair of examples to show the same idea. A giant dinosaur has been found. The most important thing is the discovery of the giant dinosaur, the large dinosaur. It's normal here to use the passive voice because it's known that scientists are the ones who usually discover things. Unlike the first sentence, we are concerned very much about the subject. This is why the agent, this is why we use the active voice. Again, a good example of present perfect passive voice. A giant dinosaur has been found. Scientists discovered the first bones 5 years ago in Argentina. 5 years ago, the exact time when the action took place here. Let's complete the rules and explain more about them. Sentence 1 from each article uses, as we can see, the present perfect tense. To talk about an event, not when it happened. نشرحها بالعربي. لما نطلع على الجملة الأولى في المثالين بنلاقي إنه مستخدمة present perfect. لأنه إحنا معنيين بالفعل، بالحدث نفسه. هون ردة الفعل الغاضبة تجاه الصحافي هي الأهم ما في الموضوع. في المثال الثاني اكتشاف الجاينت دايناصور هي أهم ما في الموضوع. ما معنا إحنا تفاصيل لا عن الزمن أو المكان أو التفاصيل الأخرى. عشان هيك it was suitable to use the present perfect. If we move to the second rule, the passive form of the verb is used to talk about the action and not who did it. If we look at the second example, we notice that we are concerned about the dinosaur and the discovery of the dinosaur and not who did it. Maybe as we just have said, it's known that scientists are the ones who discover. يعني في الجملة الأولى في المثال الثاني استخدمنا الباسيف فويس. أنا معنية باكتشاف الديناصور، معروف إنهم العلماء هم اللي بيكتشفوه، عشان هيك كثير مناسب إن استخدمنا passive voice. 3. Sentence 2. From each example, actually, from the 2 pairs of examples, we give exact information like the time, the place maybe, or other details. This is why it was very suitable to use the past form, actually, past tense. We use past tense in sentence 2. From each example uses the past tense to give more exact information like when or where something happened. نطلع هون على المثال الثاني، أعطاني هون yesterday إنه متى تحديدا أعطى ردة الفعل للكريتكس، حتى إنهم مش عارفين عن إيش بيحكوا، تفاصيل إضافية. نفس الإشي هون أعطانا 5 years ago, which means we are given the exact time. Let's have more practice on this in the activity of the book. رح يكون في عنا تطبيق مباشر على اللي إحنا أخذناه في تمارين الكتاب. In these sentences, put the verb in brackets in the present perfect tense, either active or passive. So here, which tense are we going to use? We are going to use the present perfect tense. And we are going to decide which tense is actually needed, whether which voice, is actually needed. The tense is already decided, whether active or passive, depending on what we studied before. Let's start with the first sentence here. A man discovered a box of gold coins in his back garden. We ask ourselves about the subject here. Is the subject the same as the agent? Actually, it is the same as the agent. This is why it's suitable to use here active voice. And since it's a man, it's suitable here to say a man has discovered. We are not given any details about the place or the time or anything else. We are only given one piece of information, that is a man has discovered a box of gold coins in his garden. Let's move now to the second sentence. A woman in Japan became the country's oldest graduate. A woman in Japan, again here, a woman in Japan, which is the subject, is the same as the one who did the action, not the one who received the action. So it's, again, very suitable to use active voice, has become. An unknown man find wandering in the street. Wandering يعني walking around, معنى يتجول. An unknown man. Okay, we notice here that the unknown man is the one who received the action, not the one who did the action. يعني هو اللي وقع عليه الفعل، تلقى الفعل. عشان هيك مناسب في هاي السنتنس إنه to use present perfect passive voice. Has been found. Wondering. I'll just stop here. I'll do 3 examples and leave the others for you. ببساطة إحنا حل التمرين يعتمد على فكرة واحدة، بس الحال السبجكت عمل الفعل ولا تلقاه، والتنس موجود عندي ومحدد لنا إياه فوق. Now add the next activity. Now add these second sentences to the correct sentence above. So we expect this to be the headline of the, let me say, for example, a piece of news, and in the other part we are given some details. Remember, when we are giving details, we are giving exact information. So it's more normal, it's very suitable here to use the past simple. In other words, verb to with negative sentences, didn't, and the infinitive form. And also here we have to think about meaning and relation to choose the suitable sentence. For example here, يعني المطلوب منا هون نعمل الجمل بالpast simple لأنه إحنا بنعطي details ونوصل كل جملة باللي بتناسبها. عادة لما ينطلب منا matching ما بنحاول نقرأ كل 6 sentences and hear all the other 6 complement. We will feel lost. بيكون إنه بشعر إني أنا ضعت إذا قرأت 6 ورديت قرأت 6. بيناسبني إنه to read the first sentence, look for what is suitable for it in terms of meaning. For example, here again, a man has discovered a box of gold coins in his back garden. With a quick look at sentences, also actually here pronouns can be very helpful. we find that the last sentence is the one that suits to complete the meaning. He made the discovery last week while he was planting vegetables. Vegetables, that garden. He, man, discovery, the discovery of the gold coins. This is what I meant, and pronouns can be very helpful to connect things together. And as we did, even if we were not told to use the past simple, we can conclude that it is the suitable tense to be used. We can notice the presence of the expression last week. معطيني هون تفاصيل إنه وقت الاكتشاف. The past form of make is made. So to read it together, a man has discovered a box of gold coins in his back garden. He made the discovery last week while he was planting vegetables. Seems sensible, and that gives actually good meaning. If we move now to the second sentence, a woman in Japan has become the country's oldest graduate. If we look again here with the graduate, with the schools, with the old woman, a Japanese name, we will find that this is the suitable sentence, the one before the last. 92-year-old Mrs. Naoko Fushima, maybe, passed, the past form of passed her final exams yesterday. Again, we are given the exact time when she passed her exams. إذن هي أكبر خريجة أصبحت. هي الخبر الأساسي. ومشان نعطي تفاصيل أعطانا إنها هي خلصت امتحاناتها yesterday. Now with the third example here, an unknown man has been found wandering in the street. Who is expected to find people like this, or who are concerned about finding the unknown people? The police. Police said last night that he didn't know. Sorry, this should be written correctly. He didn't know his name or where he lived. Again, a very other good example. An unknown man has been found wandering in the street. This is gives the headline, the main event, the important event. Now, in the second part, we are given more details referring to what the police said. And it's good here to revise the negative form of past simple. When we use the past simple negative form, we use didn't and the infinitive form of the verb. Let's move now to the next. I'll leave the others for you for more practice. A very good activity to be done in pairs here. I'll start by explaining the examples, and then you'll be given the time to practice it. In pairs, ask and answer questions following the example below. Have you tried Mexican food? Have you tried Mexican food? Actually, in the question here, the person who asks is not concerned about the time. She is mostly concerned about the experience, like the Ifel example that we discussed before. And in the answer, the partner here gives her more details. Yes, I had it when I was in New York last week. We are given some details about the time, about the place. This reminds us of definite past, and the exact information about the event. Let's do the first one as another good example. You hear their latest CD. Remember, with the questions, especially with yes, with no questions, we start with the helping verb. Have you, the subject from the details given here or the information given here, heard Have you, sorry again, have you heard their latest, have you heard their latest CD? The same structures that we studied before, but here with the questions, we need to be careful about the position of the subject. It should be between the two parts of the verb. Again, we are not interested in the details, only the experience itself. But if you look at the answer, yes, I downloaded it from a website where I got it from. I downloaded it from a website. If we move to the other example, one more example. You watch any matches this season? Have you watched any matches this season? Not at the stadium, but I saw one on TV last week. All of the 6 pairs here are following the same example. مختصر الكلام، هون عندنا التمرين. بالسؤال أنا بسأل عن التجربة بشكل عام، عن العمل بشكل عام، إنه حدث أو ما حدث. في الإجابة أنا لما بجاوب ممكن بعطي ديتيلز زيادة، بعطي عن الزمن، بعطي عن الطريقة، فبناسبني أكثر إني أستخدم the past perfect rather than the present perfect rather than the past simple. The past simple rather than the past perfect. باختصار هون في التمرين كلهم زي بعض. بالسؤال we are concerned about the experience, so we ask, we use the present perfect. In the answer, we are giving details, so we use the past simple. Let's move now to a new idea and something new, which maybe I introduced it as reporting passive. Everyone knows these things take time. Look at the sentence. The sentence is in the active voice. If we try to decide the object and the subject, everyone, the subject, knows is the verb, these things take time, all of this is the object. How can we deal with this? Actually, the object here is a clause. These things, subject, take, verb, and time, object. How can we change these into passive voice? As you can notice, these things, the object in the clause is used to be the subject in the passive voice form. These things, present simple, are known to take time. We use to take time. We introduce to. We added to here. People say the dinosaur is bigger than any ever found before. The dinosaur is said to be bigger than any ever found before. Again, the object here is a sentence. People say, what do people say? The dinosaur is bigger than any ever found before. We choose the most important noun to be our subject of the passive voice form. Is said to be. We use to, and the infinitive form of the verb is. Scientists think it is over 70 million years old. It is thought to be over 70 million years old. هون إذا بنطلع على الجمل بنلاقي إنه فيهم something special. الأوبجكت فيهم كلياتهم sentences. يعني clause كامل, subject, verb, complement. Also, we can notice something else. برضه بدنا ننتبه لموضوع ثاني. إنه we are not sure about the information. Everyone knows. الكل يعلم. People say, scientists think. So we do not know for sure that the information is correct. This is what we call the reporting passive. We are reporting what people say, what people know, what people think maybe. How can we change these forms into passive voice? We use this special passive form when we don't know for sure that the information is actually correct. It is made by using the verb. Which verb did we introduce here in the sentence? The verb to be, similar to any other passive voice, as we noticed here, is, are, and the past participle, again, verb 3. This is when it comes to talking about the verb. Of certain verbs, say, think, no, maybe, and the infinitive with to. We add to, notice here. And where did we get this infinitive in the sentences from? From the sentence itself. أنا عندي تركيب خاص بخص بعض الجمل لما أنا بعمل نقل لإشي أنا مش متأكدة من المعلومات اللي فيه، في تركيب خاص إحنا هنا بنستخدمه. بتكون أصلاً الأوبجكت عبارة عن جملة كاملة، بختار الاسم الأساسي، المعلومة الأساسية مشان تكون هي السبجكت لجملتي الجديدة، عشان هيك قلنا these things. بعدين a verb to be زي ما أنا متعودة حسب الفعل knows. So we use a present simple لأنه things are known to take time. are known present simple passive voice. من عندنا إحنا بدنا نجيب to وبدنا ندور على الفعل الأساسي بالكلوز نستخدم منه infinitive form. هون جاهزة عندي to، بس شوف الجملة الثانية إحنا رجعناها ل be. نفس الشيء هون في scientists. Usually this is very much used when in writing something like facts or common opinions. يعني أشياء ممكن الناس بيعتبروها حقائق، ممكن ما تكون حقائق 100%، أو معتقدات أو أفكار سائدة ممكن هيك إحنا نسميها. بلزمنا شوي في كتاباتنا أكثر هذا التركيب. Let's move to the activity concerning this in the book, and this is going to be our last activity. Rewrite the sentences using the underlying verb in the reporting passive form and the other verb in the infinitive form. People say the new lecturer comes from China. Again, here we are given some information that we are not sure about. People say something, but do they say the new lecturer comes from China? Our main topic thing we are talking about is the new lecturer. Also, it is given. كمان هون مساعدنا شوي إن هو معطينا إياها. A suitable verb to be with lecturer is, the verb is say. So it's said. اتفقنا إن نجيب من عنا to, and the infinitive form of the verb which is used here in the sentence, to come from China, up to the end of the sentence, etc. I'll choose another example here, which is example number 5. Those who have seen it report that the giant fish has large teeth. The main thing which is reported is concerning the giant fish. So the giant fish is going to be the subject, is reported to have giant, large teeth, etc. Notice has should be changed into have because we are using the infinitive form after to. Experts believe that the human actions cause a climate change. So the main thing here we are talking about is human, an extra A, actions are believed. We hear something wrong. Believed to cause climate change. Again, we are using the normal construction, a verb to be, past participle to, and the infinitive form of the verb. And that's all for today. Hope that you benefited from what I said and you enjoy this explanation, thank you for watching. I hope to meet you later in other explanations.